Hello, my friends. Welcome to another video. So we're just jumping right on in here today. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing an older technique called the dustpan pour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it on a canvas that's going to have a distressed or kind of like a worn out look to it. So I want to bring attention to somebody's TikTok account that I absolutely love. His name is Nick Boltman Art, and I'm going to put his TikTok link in the description. So if you're on there, you can check him out and also follow me if you're on there. He does these beautiful backgrounds and then does art on top of them. A lot of times it'll be with a dustpan. Sometimes he does Dutch pours, all different types of techniques. And I really want to start playing around with these kinds of methods more because, pouring paint can get a little bit monotonous. So let's try to spice it up a bit. The paints I'm using to paint the back of paint my canvas is they are called Franc Bourgeois. I love saying that name. It's so fancy. I feel so French and fancy and just magnificent when I say that name. Anyway, that's the brand I'm using. It's a vinyl emulsion paint. I'm going to tell you right now, they are usually my favorite paints to use when brush painting, but when it comes to trying to blend color together, forget about it. They were just horrible. I couldn't get them to blend no matter what I did. Thankfully, I was doing a distressed look, so it kind of didn't matter as much. I would have just liked to had blended out the edges a little bit more, but it's okay. I have a video coming out this Sunday, and I will be redeeming myself in the blending department. Make sure you tune in 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see that video. It's actually a really, really fun, beautiful painting. So here I'm just adding a little more white, and I'm, kind of just playing around with them, brushing them back and forth and kind of blending them somewhat together and leaving them a little streaky in some areas because, again, it's not about fully blending these. It's a distressed look. Think about an old fence that is weathered and just, that's what distressed looks like. So that's what I'm trying to obtain. And once I'm done with this, then I'm going to come in and show you how to mix paints for this fun technique we are doing today. Okay, so while I'm waiting for this to dry, I'm going to show you how I'm mixing the paints for what I'm about to do. So vinyl paints and some Deco Art silver I'm going to be using are going to be mixed the same way. So I'm going to put some of the paint in a cup. I'm going to put in I don't even know how to tell you how much that is. Maybe 1/8 of the cup full of paint. And this is just American Floetrol that's been strained. Okay. I'm going to add it into the cup, fill it about 3/4 of the way full, leaving some room in case I need to add water to this. Which I have a feeling I won't have to with these paints. They're pretty runny. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect flowage. Okay? As for the Deco Art, because we know these two are going to be mixed exactly the same. Let's see if the Deco Art takes any water. So now I'm going to add a little bit of Floetrol in there Sometimes silvers will clump no matter how fluid they, well, if they're really fluid, they're not going to clump, but I just want to make sure this one doesn't clump before I go dumping a bunch of Floetrol in there and ruin the whole cup of paint. If you get tiny little clumps like that, you'll never get them out and they'll dry bumpy. Like I'm not talking about a few clumps, I'm talking about infested with clumps. You'll have a very hard time with that, getting them out. And if you use one of those little coffee espresso frothers or whatever they are, the little mini whisk, battery operated, you're whipping a bunch of air into your paint, and then you're going to get a ton of air bubbles in your painting that are going to be popping continuously through the drying process and leaving specks of white or whatever color they have underneath them in your painting. So if you're getting a lot of specks in your painting, that's coming from air bubbles. It's always good to mix your paints ahead of time and let them sit overnight if you can. So the silver was the only one I had to add a little bit of water to, as you see there. The Franc Bourgeois paints did not require any. So yeah, that's how fluid art is. You can have colors that totally don't need anything but the Floetrol or pouring medium, and then some need water. Here's the thing with me. Sometimes it takes a minute for something to click in my brain. I really don't have to wait for this to be 100% dry for me to just put wet paint on top of it. You get what I'm saying? So I didn't have to wait for it to dry. I just could have proceeded to the next step. But I had to mix paints anyway. So I'm going to do a wild little dustpan pour on this for you, and we're going to see what it looks like, okay? Just so you know, I have a very, very cool video coming out Sunday. Make sure you tune in 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see that, because I think you're going to like it. But anyway, I just wanted to do something simple for you guys. I was going to pull out the stencils and the spray paints and do a crazy looking background, but I want to keep it simple for you so you can try this, okay? So just a very basic blended background, nothing fancy. We'll get into the fancier stuff as we progress and I do more of them. And a dustpan is what you're going to need, okay? So Dollar Tree, steal one from your bathroom, wash it, use it, you know? So what we're going to do is we're going to pour into the dustpan puddles of color, okay? So we're going to do this. Watch. White, black, white. You're going to do little tiny puddles so you get a lot of rings. Black. Then maybe we'll do a little bit of the pink. And you're going to continue alternating colors, alternating all of that until you have a full dustpan. So I just continue to rotate the colors. There is really no pattern, or, you know, I'm not counting like 3 rings of black before I enter in a pink. It's just kind of, I go with whatever intuition tells me to do. Obviously, the more puddles, or the smaller the puddles, the more rings you will have. So just, you know, start pouring it in the pan and figure out what you like. I think it looks so pretty just sitting in the pan itself. There you go. So now what we're going to do is this. We're just going to do a random design and just go with it, okay? So did you see what I did wrong there? You have to start with the paint going off the canvas. I totally missed the edge, but it's okay. We can fix it. I want this to come back a little bit, so hopefully it will. But that is just really striking, just the way it is, just like that. I mean, we can add more to it, some splashes if you want. But I'm really hoping that this comes back over here. So I realize the canvas looks like there's darker shades of black and gray on the ends, and it looks all crazy. That's because it's still wet in some areas. So again, Sunday, I will be showing you this dried and resined. So I had just a couple of air bubbles right in the center there. So I'm torching those quick, and then we are going to do the close-up. I've also decided to try to tilt a little tiny bit to get that edge to go off of the canvas for me. It's going, folks. There we go. Perfect. That's it. I'm going to leave it like that. We'll let it dry. And then Sunday, when you come back for that special video I have coming out, I want you to, well, I don't want you to. I'm going to show you this dried and hopefully resined, okay? So I'll just give you a close-up of it now. And then, like I said, we'll come back Sunday and I'll show you what it looks like. And see right here, I'm not going to tilt it anymore. I'm just going to let it naturally flatten out and it'll go over the edge there. And I'm going to tell you, I did not like blending with those vinyl paints at all. And that's shocking because I thought that they would blend really easily because they brush on so easily, but no, they did not. So what I'm going to end up doing to this when it dries is I'm going to take some silver leaf. Jackson's over here tearing up my carpet. I'm going to take some silver leaf and kind of distress it through the entire background because I did not like using those. So we kind of stopped with that. But yeah, this is very, very pretty. I like it. And I hope you do too. If you did, please remember to click like and subscribe on your way out. Don't forget to check the description for links and videos and all that good stuff. Classes, upcoming classes that I'm teaching in the description, and how you can follow me on social media. All right. I love you all. I'll see you all Sunday, hopefully. And until the next time, happy pouring.